8565. On penalty shootout to pick up the bronze medal at the now wrapped up 2022 Under-17 Women's World Cup in India. The Flamingos surrendered a 3-0 lead to the Germans, but went on to win 3-2 in the shootout. The Germans missed 3 of their efforts, while the Flamingos saw 1 of their efforts saved. Opeyemi Ajake, Minat Bello, and Idiotin with the squares of Nigeria, while Angela Viet, Paulina Platna, and Lauren Bender netted for the European Under-17 champions. Remember, the Germans came from a goal down to beat the Flamingos 2-1 in their opening game of the tournament, but on this particular occasion, that wasn't to be. Let's talk about the two shockers. First up, Nigeria racing to a 3-0 lead, and the Germans storming back, forcing penalties in the process. Blyden.
Well, first of all, I can just say congratulations to the girl.
Yeah.
It's been forthcoming. We saw the preparations from the girls, the coach. Exciting stuff to behold, because you look at history, they've not gone past the quarterfinals, talking about on the 17 level for a Nigerian women's team before. We've not gone past that quarterfinal. So when you get to a spot where they get to the semi-finals, good progression. I remember during the course of the games, especially moving to the semi-finals, the coach came out to say from his part, he's done his part and he's successful, that I can only hope and put in a lot of energy and probably they can go all out. And having to beat Germany at the end of it to win bronze, that speaks volume. It speaks about the quality. And just as I always say, you look at what we do in women's football, we see that we've not really tapped that generation at all, that area at all, when it has to do with women's football. Our league has not been progressive as far as I'm concerned. But what these girls have done is exceptional. It goes on to show that if we put in the right facilities, the right organization, we can actually dominate women's football. But sadly, because you look at it, when they're leading 3-0, and you allow the Germans to come back and be back into the game, you begin to wonder what they were thinking at some point. And that's a similar story I saw in our semi-final games against the Colombians. And I remember I did say on TV, those who live by the draw shall always die by the draw. But this time, they depended on the penalty, and she stood out champions in penalty, winning bronze.
Right, congratulations to them, but congratulations to Spain for crowned champions after Ana Maria Guzman Zapata. On goal in the 82nd minute broke the Colombian heart, handing the Spanish Under-17 side the gold medal in the process. So the champions of the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. Well, was that surprising for you, Blyden?
No, it's not. It's not surprising. You look at all the sides. You need the best sides in world football when it has to do with women's game. Yes, the women's national team not been able to win the major in recent times in Europe and in the world. But from a club side point of view, you see what's happening with the Barcelona side and having these girls. You know that there's quality performance, quality facility, quality upbringing when it has to do with football in Spain. And they were the defending champions going to this competition, and they've defended it back. Such quality, such quality. They played a slick kind of football. When you can put physicality and that slick kind of football together, definitely going to get the result. I watched Colombia in the finals, playing in the semi-finals, playing against Nigeria. Difficult game. They were the better side against the Nigerian side. Played quite well, but they had to depend on that their superstar, forgotten the name now, who looked like Ronaldinho at the time. And I was just wondering what a player should become in the nearest future. But look at it. It's always going to be better teamwork compared to individual player. And the Spanish side were the better side for me.
Right, now the Spanish side claimed the medal at the end of that particular encounter. So to say congratulations to them, and congratulations to Nigerian-born Spanish midfielder Vicky Lopez, who was named player of the tournament after helping Spain defend the crown in India. She's 16, was born to a Spanish father and a Nigerian mother. Lopez was recognized for her exemplary displays all through the tournament. She is a Barca young star, played a vital role. Spain defeated Colombia in the final in Mumbai yesterday, Sunday. Congratulations. So that's how it finished. Nigeria finishing in third place, Colombia in second, and Spain champions of the Women's World Cup at under 17 level.
I have a dream where love's the only side.
We'll still talk about football stories in Dar es Salaam. Well, it ended 1-1. Success mark on Juala scored in the 24th minute from the sports, and then the hosts talk about Tanzania equalized. But at home here at the Lekon Salami Stadium, there was no repeat of such drama despite a drop first half. Nigeria scored twice in the second to ensure they progressed to the final qualifying stages. Lots of money now in the bag.
Well, surely, after all the promises, I remember I did talk about it. Lots of people came out to access to say this. They say, if you win Tanzania, you get this. Win Tanzania, you get this. And it was my biggest fear. Because most often the non doesn't work in Nigeria. But look, the players know their onions, the coach know their onions. They have to build, consolidate, and get wins moving forward. It's a big tournament ahead. And when you're playing at the under 23 level, it means that you are almost at the peak of your career. So you have to set the right template. You never can tell. Big clubs might come for you. You go to the Olympics and you perform quite well. Yes, for me, Tanzania is not the biggest side you can think of when it has to do with playing against the Nigerian side at the under 23 level. So I expected Nigeria to go all out and win it, especially after drawing 1-1 away at Tanzania. But for me, it's beyond Tanzania game. It's about the next phase. It's about getting to the African Cup of Nations. It's about having the collective players at once and doing what they need to do. Instead of all the hiccups we saw in preparation to the game against Tanzania, especially the first leg, we hope that they sort out all the details of the players they need to sort out, have the right players in camp, and those you need to invite them early enough, because come on, under 23 level, we're expecting some foreign-based players to be part of that team moving forward. They have to sort that out as fast as possible towards the Nations Cup, and hopefully they can play quite well, go past the Nations Cup, and get to the Olympics proper.
Right. Meanwhile, Ahmed Musa has been in, generous form, donating money here and there. And I also had, he promised the under 23 Eagles, 500,000 naira for each goal, so that means 1 million. They get that. But the Flamingos will get 3 million from the Super Eagles skipper, who has promised to splash 3 million on them for winning bronze at the just concluded FIFA the 17 Women's World Cup. Well, we just talked about it earlier. Nigeria defeating Germany 3-2 in penalties to make the country and the continent proud at that particular tournament. It is our highest ever finish in the history of the FIFA under 17 Women's World Cup. But before that, let's tell you about the headlines from Europe's top 5 leagues, the result, and then some talking points, and then you join conversation via the phone lines and via Facebook as well. We'll also hear from a couple of managers this particular afternoon here. So let's begin with the Premier League recapping the latest action from there for you. Started on Saturday, lunchtime kickoff saw Manchester City. They had that moment of magic. From Kevin De Bruyne to Sea of Leicester City by a goal to nothing. Well, the headline of that particular fixture was the conspicuous absence of the man. We're talking Erling Brown Talent missing through a knock, or combination of illness, if you like.
Screaming till you're breathless.
Well, it was some drama at the Vitality where Bournemouth were leading by 2 goals to nothing, but Spurs overturned that 2-0 deficit, winning 3-2. It was a 5-goal thriller, much to the delight of Antonio Conte. At the Community Stadium, well, Wolves battled to a 1-1 draw with the hosts Brentford. Wow, there was no such love for Graham Potter, and they should turn to the Amex Stadium, Brighton, and they shall be picking up their first win this particular session under the Derby. Well, it was a 4-1 win for the host, Brighton. Crystal Palace won the winners over Southampton. Newcastle continued their great stride, 4-0 winners over Aston Villa. at the St. James's Park. Fulham and Everton battled to a 0-0 draw. Wow. For Liverpool, it was more misery. Team in the Premier League was a 1 defeat for Liverpool at talking right now. Has sent many tongues wagging across the globe, but particularly for the Arsenal fans. Gabriel Martinelli with a header to put Arsenal ahead just inside the opening 5 minutes of that particular fixture. Well, it ended at the Emirates. Arsenal 5, Nottingham Forest 0. 100 goal for Manchester United in what was a 1-0 win over West Ham United. So for David Moyes, his wait for a first win at Old Trafford continues on his 16th appearance at Old Trafford, still yet to win as a visiting manager. We talk about the 2 minutes from now, that's 3:20. Let's talk about Arsenal. Let's talk about Thomas Partey. There's been a whole lot of talk about how he's the spine of that team. He holds that team together. You know, he's been putting in impressive performances for the Gunners, back to back to back now. Would you say Thomas is the best defensive midfielder in the league as we speak?
Charlie, the best defensive midfielder in the English Premier League. The best defensive midfielder from Africa. And if we're not careful, I remember the case he sent Nigeria out of the Champions League. It was Thomas Partey. I remember when I used to talk about it and you guys would look at me. Come on, this guy is a finesse himself. And you love it when they add Partey after Partey to him. When he does this magic and does it exceptionally well. You see in the Premier League, since his return to the Arsenal fold, he's made the team so solid. They look like champions already. But only time will tell because it's such a distance moving forward. But against Nottingham Forest, you expect them to go out, get the win against Nottingham Forest, especially back from that defeat in the Europa League against PSV Eindhoven. So come on, exciting stuff happening. And if you see a team like Nottingham Forest, you don't beat them just like Liverpool did, then you are in a mess because not many teams are available for you to beat in the English Premier League. And they saw Nottingham and they really pound on the Forest.
Mm-hmm. Well, Liverpool misery continues. What's happening there with Jurgen Klopp?
It gets to a point nobody gets to understand what's happening at Liverpool. Before now, it was all about the injuries, defensive frailties, attacking lacks, and we've had these players come back. As far as I'm concerned, maybe the ghost of Sadio Mane is still haunting them. They begin to think about it because you begin to look at it. Where is it coming from? They have all the players available who are able to give you a win, and they're not getting the win. They've tilted the strategies all through, still not getting the win, especially in the English Premier League. One indices I could look at from my standpoint is maybe when they go to Europe, they have a meal of teams in Europe beating Ajax Amsterdam, beating all these teams, and it feels like, quality side. But it shows that the English Premier League is such a difficult league. Teams like Leeds United are quite tough to beat, and we saw that happen against Liverpool.
Right, you join the conversation now. First up, let's take a listen to Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta talking after that 5-0 win at the Emirates at the expense of Nottingham Forest. Arteta.
Very much. It's always very difficult to win in this league, and we know that today we had a tricky game after traveling and playing in Europe, but I think the team responded really well, played really well, scored fantastic goals, so really happy.
You said after Thursday night, the defeat in Eindhoven, you wanted maybe a bit of a reset from the team. Did you get exactly what you wanted today?
Yes, absolutely. Well, a very different game, and we have to learn from those experiences as well, and the first one myself, and I think the team today play again to a level that we have to play individually and collectively, and we deserve to win the game.
Right, so that's Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta. We'll hear from a lot more managers. Steve Cooper, we'll hear from Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola, and of course, not forgetting the man of Manchester United, Erik ten Hag. But it's your turn. Join the conversation now. Welcome, football fan. Your name, your location.
Yeah. Good afternoon, sport analyst. Mr. Easy on the line.
Good to have you join us, Mr. Easy.
Yeah, thank you very much. I was so disappointed with the way our jogging club handled the affair of Liverpool now. And as for me, I think Liverpool should look beyond jogging club because we need a change of playing pattern in Liverpool. We need a change of some certain players. For me, the like of Gomez and Firmino shouldn't be in Liverpool red color. Yes, as long as the Liverpool is concerned.
Easy.
So it is right time the board should look and giving a jogging club what it deserves for this error. I keep on saying the error because this man has failed to do a substitute that can balance the team. Look at that, keeping Firmino and taking on somebody like Fabinho in the midfield who controls the midfield and bring in an old man like Milner. What does Milner deserve in the team?
Well, I understand. The energy is quite high and the intensity is quite high owing to the passion for your team. But it's 60 seconds for every football fan, so manage your time properly. And if I got you right too, you're saying your own club should be sacked? Well, clarify that if you get the chance to come back. All right, welcome, football fan. Name and location. Good to have you join us.
Hello, good afternoon, Rajam.
All right. Thank you for joining, Victor.
Then we have Solorex and Blyden in the building.
It's just me, I'm Blyden today.
Yeah, Brad, always a great time joining you. Let me say the weekend was so great. Let me especially congratulate the Spanish lady for them winning the under-17 Women's World Cup back-to-back. It was a very great competition. The team that participated did their best to take the competition to the climax. And so also the Flamingos, them winning the third place. So they have really tried. So one, the government of Nigeria to take time to celebrate these ladies. And I always look back and still make our football. Brighton, what Brighton did to Chelsea was a trash by trashing Chelsea 4-1. It was a very shocking result for about a moment and sometimes Potter didn't lose much, but he lose like this and he lose to his former side. So for Chelsea, we always say that even the players like Aubameyang, even Gaya Mount,
Victor, wrap it up for us.
Some of the players that we have on Chelsea, when they create chances, they don't make good use of their chances. That's my take. Thank you, Father.
Thank you very much. Let's be conscious of time so we can accommodate as many calls as possible this afternoon, all right? Keep it coming. Welcome, football fan. It's your turn now. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Solorex And Blyden.
Yeah, top gunner.
The week was full of joy and sorrow to some football fans. To me, Arsenal gave me a breath of fresh air. Great, Flamingos versus German lady. Nigeria was leading by 3 goals against the German lady for the very first time. But complacency and flat-foot defense by Flamingos made it 3-3. Regulation time. Bankole also contributed for the draw. He took away his star players. The 2 players he played, he put in, they can't make it. They let Bankole down. Good Flamingos won the game by penalty. Else, more sorrow to Nigeria fans. Bright has celebrated the Flamingos. I celebrated fans. 10 for winning the tournament with Nigerian ladies. Finally, Arsenal had flying still continue. They tamed the Forest by 5-0. Arsenal can't be on the losing side. The boys responded well. Thomas Partigo was a beauty to watch. Arsenal want to pay back to their fans on the loss to PSG and a draw with Southampton. The Gunners are in high spirit. Who can stop them? Nobody. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Top gunner, waxing lyrical. Some of the few good factors back. Location. Good to have you.
This is the Senator calling for it.
Good to know.
You can see how Party scored that goal. And you can see that this season now, he has scored like that too. And what is going on in Arsenal now? Some people are still not believe that the club is good. They are still waiting for injury. And those ones that are injured, they come back. Is it not the same thing?
See the guy that even changed Saka. This got two goals, but they believe that the guy is not good. But for those people that are still thinking that Arsenal cannot collect this league, they are just playing. Arsenal will beat Man City, still beat Chelsea. You see what will happen. Don't worry. I'll call you back. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining.
I like that. I'll call you back.
Appreciate you. Call me back, all right? Let's hear from Jurgen Klopp now.
2-1 defeat. What are your reflections on the game?
Yeah, a defeat. It feels like a defeat. It feels like a massive defeat. We started really well in the game, but conceded out of the blue a freakish 1-0. Pretty quick, can equalize it. You think now momentum on our side. Yes, there were moments, but not in general. It was not that we now were really in the game. We have to control situations better. We can play better. We have to use their weaknesses better. They were, center really compact. I left the wing open. Always when we used that, and it looked really fluent and really good. And from there we could create moments. 1 half time, and then we try to force it. That's okay, but of course, there are moments where you have just to control it more, where you have to let them run a bit more, and not that we gave a lot of balls away, but with their speed, it's like each ball you lose is a massive count.
All right, so that's Klopp. We'll talk about him in a bit. Welcome, football fan. Name and location.
Good afternoon, Blyden. My name is Ekbeno, calling from here.
All right, Ekbeno.
I was very happy for my team, Man City, winning the series by Coach Suni. And Victor Osimhen really made my weekend was very good because of the goal that the guy scored. I'm very happy for him. And I want to tell all the Arsenal fans they should take it easy because we are coming. We know our place. So when the right time is take over from this. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ekbeno, for joining the conversation this afternoon. Well, Arsenal sit top after round 12. They've got 31 points, too, more than Manchester City, who are second with 29 points. Spurs are third with 26. Newcastle completes the top four. They've got 24 points. United are in fifth spot, just a point behind Newcastle. They've got 23. Chelsea, sixth with 21. Fulham, seventh with 19. Brighton and Liverpool, not forgetting Crystal Palace, complete the top 10 with 18, 16, and 16 points, respectively. Welcome, football fan. Name and location.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you, this is Joe. Yes, Ahmed Musa splashing about 3-something million from the Fingers. That's a good gesture if you ask me. I think it should be multiplied by others big international, so I've seen more in the international scene. On the issue of Chelsea, I think that may be their worst outing this season. But each time the coach start Mark Gorilla at the same very well performance, and Chelsea must expect that. I think it's our time the coach stop benching Benchue and playing Mark Gorilla. Go more often than that will cost us the very serious match we need to win. On the issue of the performance of Chelsea, I think when those two major players are injured, I mean James and Kante comes up, I think they will perform better in the next match. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. That sounds like a long-term thing because Reece James, I'm not sure, is back before the World Cup and playing for Chelsea. For N'Golo Kante is out of the World Cup, so returns next year, February. So you wait till February? Welcome, football fan. Name and location.
Hello, right. Good afternoon, Nelson calling from you.
Nelson, good to have you join us.
Thank you very much indeed. But the Nigerian teenagers, I think they should thank their stars that they were still the third best team yesterday. You know, having allowed the Germans to record one of the biggest comebacks, so to speak, in female football. Notably, when such scenario present itself, the opponents, you know, are mostly favored. That is why I'm saying that they should thank their stars. But those players that were brought up yesterday, they really let their manager and their country down. I would not blame the manager because perhaps they were given the opportunity to present themselves to the rest of the world. having led by 3 goals. So we let all down. So talk about Liverpool. If the story is true that Mane left for Bayern Munich because Liverpool refused to increase his wages, then Liverpool should not be pitied because they bit off the hand that fed them. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. We appreciate you. We're going to take 3 more calls quickly before we head to other leagues. But before we do that, we should take a listen to the Chelsea manager, Graham Potter, talking about the embarrassing defeat at the Amex. Welcome, football fan. Name and location.
Right, top gunner.
All right, 30.
But on Liverpool versus Leeds United, watching it, Liverpool walked alone at Anfield Stadium. Leeds United humiliated Liverpool. Then Leeds United keeper was outstanding in that match. He made 9 saves. Liverpool are now nice on the lock with 12 games. The professor of Liverpool last idea in that game. Virgil van Dijk has lost a game at Anfield for the first time. Liverpool are struggling for form. They need to replace their aging players, mostly midfielders. But Liverpool are getting closer to the relegation zone. I would like to hear from Otonino and Mr. Moore. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Top 10 doesn't look like close to relegation. Anyway, Graham.
Suffered a lot in the first half. The start, obviously, with the atmosphere like it was, made it even more difficult for us. A couple of unforced errors, which gave us a problem. Credit to Brighton, they played well. They did what they did well. We had some opportunities as well ourselves, but it was just one of those days where we weren't quite at the level that we need to be to win the game, certainly here. So we're all responsible for that, me included. The boys have given everything in terms of over a period of 7 weeks with us. So it's a bad day, like you say, at the office when we have to dust ourselves down and go again with it.
Welcome, football fan. Name and location.
Good afternoon, Brian James and Co.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Alex from Calabar.
Good to have you join us, Ode.
Thank you. My appeal is just for the Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United fans to allow us to enjoy our moment. It's been long coming. We felt it last season. Towards the end of the season, we were celebrating Champions League place, but at the dying moment, we lost it.
Ode.
So it is, yeah?
No intent to call you short, but going by your words, you're saying, let's enjoy our moment. So it sounds like you believe that it would be short-lived. It's not something that would last over time. Is that the perception? Is that the ideology?
You know, being an Arsenal fan, we were taught by the number one professor. Not all these professors that when they don't perform within a season and they are calling for the sack of the professor. We were taught by Arsene Wenger that football is all about losing, winning, and drawing. So in football, you cannot expect anything. You just have to be hopeful that anything is possible. We can win the league, we can make Champions League places, and we can still make Europa League places. But for the fact that we are there now, let us encourage the players, the team, and encourage the coach, and encourage ourselves, and enjoy the moment. We are not saying we are going there to pick the league, but if God, by the grace of God, at the end of the season, by May, we pick the league, we'll be excited. But let us not put more pressure on these boys because we don't have the bench. We don't have the second 11 to compete when the pressure will come, when Carabao Cup will come, when FA Cup will come, when the Europa League will enter into round of 16. The games will be coming hard on us. So, but let's see where we will end at the end of the season. But for now, let us enjoy the league. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That sounds very realistic, if you ask me. But are you concerned about Arsenal and the spine? You know, we talked about Thomas Partey, but again, we've sat here, we've talked about, how bad it look in the absence of certain key players. Depth. How much of a problem is that? Then, January transfer window, does it present them with the opportunity to try to fix that if they're to mount and hold on to that spot at the top of the table?
Let me come from this angle. They always talk about the process. But I think Arsenal have gotten to the point, especially with the coach, Mikel Arteta, they've gotten to the point where they realize in football there's no real process. That process in terms of from a club perspective, where you just depend for the young lads and bring in young lads and hope that they grow to get the magic done. You're always going to buy those players, and one key player they've bought this season is the Brazilian, Gabriel Jesus. He's been the difference. He's not really scored many goals, but he's aided the team. Other players stepped up. They saw the momentum, they saw the energy the young lad or this man has brought from the attacking point of view, and they stepped up to do the job. as the supporter rightly said, most Arsenal fans are happy. But there's always a fear niggling somewhere. That fear is we've not been here for a long time. We've not been the best of the teams for a long time. So you never can tell what might happen going forward. But I love the consistency from the team. When it seems like the chips are about to be down, they step up and make a resounding performance, just as they did it against Nottingham Forest. I remember telling B2 Brian some time ago, I said, the way Arsenal are going, they're not performing top-notch again. Look at the last game they played. Then they lost the next one. And it's the same story, they're likely going to lose the next one. And they lost to PSV. Now they face a small team. They didn't make it 1-0, they made it complete 5. Making that statement, we can do it and we can go further. And that's what I like about it. But my biggest fear for Arsenal is this, Gabriel Jesus. If something happens, an injury comes, who steps in for him? Can the young Nketiah do the job? I do not think so. Who can do the job for them? Maybe that's where they have to look forward to, especially in the transfer window in the January transfer market, and see what they can solve about it. If they do this and have the potentials, especially up front, I think they can give Manchester City not just a run, a lot of run for their money.
Welcome, football fan. Name and location. Good to have you join us.
Hello.
Yeah, Top Gunner again, 25.
But the fans were bringing KC manager. They were singing you be sad to do. You had to that were Brighton fans. To me, you need to see reason with the fans. They were doing good and you left them. Because it's a public but that's all for a 51. That got his first name. What other said is first decrease. What the problem is information. That was thing.
All right, thank you very much for joining. Marcus Rashford. Now, sat here, fans over time have complained about the fact that his head, hasn't been in the game for a while, but it looks like his head is back where the fans and of course, the manager needs it, thinking football.
Surely, I look at last season. Let me start there. Or listening to Marcus Rashford made some sayings regarding last season. He said most of the time last season, he wasn't thinking about the game. He was having issues outside football, and those were where he thought it could be affecting and problematic for a player. That's why he ought to be top-notch professionals and give a lot of respect for the likes of Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, because it doesn't mean they don't have issues outside football. They have a lot of issues, but they've managed to be quite professional, to be that consistent for over 15 years, moving to 20 years. But I'm quite happy for Marcus Rashford. And one peculiar thing about the English media has always been the hype around it. Yesterday I was having a conversation with Ifeanyi, and guess what we talked about? They were saying, come on, Rashford has been hyped a lot. But come on, when you have a young lad over time come from the ranks and getting to 100 goals in the club, you know that he's performing well. Amid all the issues, amid all the strays, amid all the hypes and the low times and the high times, because the beautiful thing about hype is this, Brad James. When it's good, there's a lot of hype about you. When it's bad, the hype goes negative. And that has been what Rashford has gone through. And in particular last season, another thing I noticed was the pressure of Cristiano Ronaldo was on the lad. Because for a while it was all about Rashford, Marcus, and come on, Cristiano Ronaldo came and everything was about the big striker who's done all these things in football over the years. So Rashford was trying to fit in. And you give a bad cross to Cristiano Ronaldo and Cristiano Ronaldo tells you, come on, that's a bad cross, give me a good one. Brings a lot of pressure to the lad. I like what Erik ten Hag is doing and giving him opportunity, especially trying to make the system to suit him. Basically what it is, good performance from Rashford. And I think he's in for a starting bed for England at the World Cup now.
Welcome, football fan. Name and location.
This is Jesse.
No,
All
right.
What I just want to let my guys here understand is that I believe he gets chat and say that and he has spoken it. And we believe in him. And he's been, when they return,
so sorry about that.
that. I believe it, but most 100%. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you. Well, most of the time the network was just jinxing in and out. But thanks for joining on the same. We thoroughly Archibong says, good afternoon, sports crew. I want to firstly appreciate my lovely Arsenal team for that overwhelming victory against Nottingham last weekend. So proud of your performance. Congrats for Flamingos for that third place finish in India. Up Gunners. Ode Alex says, good afternoon, Bright. James and Cole, the weekend was fantastic. The twists and turns of the Premier League is something to ponder on. Arsenal defeat Liverpool FC. Liverpool defeats Man City. Nottingham Forest defeat Liverpool. And Arsenal FC demolished Nottingham Forest. What a league. Arsenal fans. Hashtag Ateta Media Officer from Calabar. UB account says up Chelsea. Bright. I don't know what they're now complaining. I've been no say last everybody go face Brighton Leeds, no get joy. Last night they here won my heart. Glory, glory, Manchester United. Good to have you joined us.
Right, this is Dominic.
Dominic.
Right. Sometimes I don't want to bother if you have a problem. So but the fact is, demand at the moment. Though some Chelsea fan who happens to fan Chelsea maybe yesterday, sometimes come to talk on radio, but sometimes it's even low. The time we started fanning Chelsea and even watching the match, during the days of the drawback, it was not like this. So I'm totally disappointed. Sometimes it's because of the manager. I heard one fan calling to criticize the performance and some of them. But as they been introduced at the right time, why did you drop your strikers, talisman? So what makes him to bring in Brother and a guy middle of the game? So I think it has nothing to offer to Chelsea football. It's the very first time I feel disappointed in his performance. It's not there. Even though he managed to win, you know, he just said that Arsenal are winning 1-1 goal. Some will be dropping. So Chelsea have never win a match to convince you that they are very strong side, but they keep on winning. Either strong to win 1 goal, 2 goals, and our fans think that. So I'm disappointed.
All right, Dominic.
Anything good will soon come. If we will find our place in a very difficult situation. You see, the very first man.
No, Dominic, please don't stretch it. All right. Thank you very much. That's 1 minute 43 seconds. Thank you very much for your time. We thoroughly appreciate you. Let's take a listen to weekend's encounter and the win over West Ham. Eric.
Yeah, it's a double feeling, I would say, because it's great and I'm really happy with this win, and also the way we fight again and we are supporting each other and we're acting as a team. But I think we have to manage this game better. Had to keep better the ball, and also in second half keep disciplined in the pressing, then you keep more control in the game.
Right, so that's Erik ten Hag talking after the win against West Ham at Old Trafford. Now let's look at the Italian Serie A and the results from there. Match day 12 of the 30 respected. Sassuolo no match for Napoli. Victor Osimhen grabbed his first Napoli hat-trick in that particular encounter. It was a 4-0 win for them at their Stadio Diego Armando Maradona. Juventus 1-0 winners over Lecce away from home. Inter Milan at San Siro saw Sampdoria by 3-0. Steven De Vrij, Nicolo Barella and Joaquin Correa with the goals for Simeone Inzaghi's side. Elsewhere, still from the Serie A, Empoli lost against Atalanta by 2-0. Ademele Lookman scored his 5th goal for the side since joining. Now, in other results, Fiorentina 2-1 winners over Spezia. Cremonese and Udinese batting out to a 0-0 draw. Shocking result from the Stadio Olimpico, where Lazio lost against Salernitana by 1-3. Torino beat Scudetto champions AC Milan by 2-1. Verona clash with Roma later tonight by 6:31. Monza welcome Bologna. Now let's look at the standings. Siemens Napoli at top with 32 points, 5 points more than second place Atalanta, who've got 27. Milan dropping now to third with 26 points. Lazio are fourth with 24. 7 points is Inter Milan to match of superior and inferior goal difference. Roma are sixth ahead of tonight's encounter, but of course could leapfrog the likes of Lazio and Inter Milan to fourth spot with a win. Later tonight at Hellas Verona. Juventus is seventh, Udinese 8th, Torino 9th. Salernitana 10th. Now in the relegation zone, we've got Sampdoria, Hellas Verona, and Cremonense in 18th, 19th, and 20th spots. Now let's talk about the Wood who starts. Marko Arnautovic of Bologna as the joint top scorer alongside Dusan Vlahovic 6 of Napoli. That's the same number of goals Lautaro Martinez of Inter Milan has scored. Talk about assist. That goes for Serge Milinkovic-Savic of Latvia has got 7. But he's got Jared Delufo closing in. He's got 6 assists. Kavica Verskalia has got 5 in Napoli colours, same as his club teammate Mario Rui. Roberto Pereira of Udinese have got 5 assists as well. Score goals, but he needs to stay fit. Now he's fit, he's scoring the goals. Must be delightful.
Well, first question is he really fit? Because you look at it, before he came back, went out, especially in that game, I think it was against Liverpool. Early times, scored a goal, went out of that game. I would really hope that Osimhen stays fit. But the beauty about Osimhen, because on the other hand, the way he sparkles, it could be quite difficult for him to really be fit, because he's coming in such energetic personality. But if you need a striker that's elegant, always use that as Victor Osimhen, exceptional striker. I think from my standpoint, what's lacking is the numbers. He's not really had the numbers since joining Napoli and most of the clubs. In terms of most strikers are not that sparkling and energetic, but they have the numbers. But the beauty of it that can cover for Osimhen is he sparkles, he brings such unique energy into games. And you need that kind of striker from a Napoli point of view. The good thing is to have other striker as well, so scoring goals and being supportive, combination from both sides. They have 11 goals together this season. Good performances so far. And the team looks solid, because sometimes you can be such a quality player, but not having a solid team.
Can they go all the way?
I think so. They've never been this good in Serie A. In recent times, we'll see Osimhen's team, Napoli, top the league. But you know that they're going to slump one way or the other. But now, they look very super. They look special, and they're hungry. I think it's the hunger for me that's making the difference. I think they'll win the Serie A. But big fear is Inter Milan, because Lukaku is back. He brings a certain level of energy from an Inter perspective, and the fans love him.
Match day 2 respected from Spain. Mallorca 1-1 against Espanyol. Almeria saw off Celta Vigo by 3-1. Cadiz was shocking results against Atletico in a 5-goal thriller edged Diego Simeone's side 3-0 to Sevilla at the Roman Sanchez Pizjuan, lost against Rayo Vallecano by 1-0. Barca needed that last gap winner from Robert Lewandowski to see off Valencia de Mestalla by 1-0. Osasuna 2, Valladolid 0. Real Madrid with Toni Kroos getting his first ever career red card in that game. Played out a 1-1 draw at the Bernabeu against Girona. Athletic Bilbao 1-0 winners of Villarreal. Real Betis beat Sociedad 2-0 away from home. Elche and Getafe do battle later tonight. The standings has Real Madrid 1 point better than Barca. They've got 32. Barca have got 31. Atletico stayed third despite the defeat. 23 points and are joined on the same number of points, while by Real Betis it's a matter of inferior and superior goal difference that comes to play against Sociedad 5th. Athletic Bilbao 6, Osasuna 7, Villarreal 8, Rayo Vallecano 9th, and Valencia complete the top 10. Sevilla, Cadiz, Elche 18th, 19th, and 20th respectively. Talk about relegation zone. Robert Lewandowski, well, the man won't stop scoring despite the frailties for Barca. Is the league's top scorer with 13 goals, running away with the Pichichi. Borja Iglesias of Real Betis has got 8 goals. Giselle of Espanyol 7. Federico Valverde of Real has got 6, same as Iago Aspas of Celta Vigo. Vedat Muric of Mallorca, and Vinicius Junior of Real Madrid. Most assists in the league that goes to Barca's Ousmane Dembele has got 5. But Mikel Merino of Sociedad, Robert Lewandowski of Barca, Rodrigo of Real Madrid, Alejandro Balde of Barca, Alex Moreno are all on 4 assists. On 027 624 1265. Steve Cooper is waiting to talk to us. Is the Nottingham Forest manager, meanwhile, in case you're new to the name.
Taking chances when you...
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in the second and third goal, they come from turnovers when we have the ball in fairly high positions, and we've lacked quality and, like I said, turned the ball over and then got done on, I wouldn't say counter-attacks, because Arsenal had much more the ball in possession than that, but certainly sort of fast attacks, if you like, which that was the plan to do to them. So we have only got ourselves to blame.
All right, so that's the man. We've only got ourselves to blame. Frankfurt by 2-1. Wolfsburg spanked Bochum 4-0. Stuttgart 2-1 winners of Augsburg. Bayern Munich thrashed Mainz by 6-2. Werder Bremen 1-0 winners over Hertha Berlin. RB Leipzig 2 by Leverkusen 0. Consequence on the table. Union Berlin more points than Bayern Munich. Bavarian Giants in the they've got SC Freiburg at third with 24, Borussia Dortmund fourth with 22, Eintracht Frankfurt at fifth with 20, RB Leipzig sixth with 19 points, and on 18 we've got 3 teams. 7 plays Hoffenheim, 8 plays Werder Bremen, and 9 plays Mainz 05. FC Cologne complete the top 10. In relegation zone we've got Leverkusen, Bochum, and Schalke 04 in it, and that's the story for this particular season. That's got individual stats. Point top scorer Niklas Füllkrug of Werder Bremen has got 9 goals as well, joined with Christopher Nkunku. Marcus Thuram is enjoying some nice, phenomenal goal-scoring run. He plays for Borussia Mönchengladbach, meanwhile, has got 8 goals. Daichi Kamada of Eintracht Frankfurt has got 7, same as Bayern young star Jamal Musiala. Has got the most assists in the league, has got 7. Alisson Play of Borussia Mönchengladbach has got 5, same as Dominic Szoboszlai of RB Leipzig, 5 assists as well. Florian Kainz of Cologne 4, Jamal Musiala 4, Begim Berisha of Augsburg 4, and Paulo Otavio Rosa Silva of Wolfsburg 4 assists as well. Let's go to where you have the harvest of goals. Some call it the Van Jansio by and to see of Lyon 1-0 winners over Lille. The standings sees PSG were undoubtedly at the top, 5 points to the good, 35 points from 13 games, 5 better than second place. Lens have got 30 points. Rennes are third with 27, same as fourth place Lorient. Marseille 5th, Monaco 6th, Lille 7th, Lyon 8th, Clermont-Foot 9th, and Nice 10th on the log. Now in the relegation zone, Ajaccio and Angers 18th, 19th, 20th respectively.